Hello, good morning. Hi, everyone. How are we doing this very beautiful Saturday morning? I hope the weather is good wherever you are this morning. I just want to quickly say welcome to Healthy Relationship Series, Episode 2. My name is Abigail Isaac. Today, we are going to be talking about how to maintain healthy relationships. So, you want to quickly let your friends know that we are live already. Um, Share the link with your friends, connect with us. I'd like to know where you're connecting with us from. We're going to have very, very interesting people come join us for the conversation today. Um, we'd like to know where you're joining us from. Just say it in the chats. Hi. I can see someone in the studio with me. He's connecting from New Jersey. Hi, thank you for joining. Olaoluwa, thank you for joining. I see you. Talking about relationships, I mean, it's a very interesting, it's always an interesting conversation because, the thing about life is that when you make good and healthy connections, you have a very, very happy and fulfilling life because how your how you feel or how you find fulfillment in life is really affected by the kind of people you surround yourself with. So, some of the questions we'll be talking about today will center around things that can help us have and sustain relationships. Like, okay, what's the place of love language? How does that matter? Why is it important? I feel like we should start with some music today, but we're back. We're late on time. All right, all right, all right. Let's just start off the conversation while I wait for our guest to join us today. I'm so sorry for the little break. So we're just going to go straight into the conversation. And as we move along the way, we're going to have our guests join us so that we can have a more robust, you know, conversation. When it comes to talking about maintaining relationships, whether it's friendship, marriage, dating, you know, there's no particular there are no set rules because everybody's relationship is peculiar, is different. We're dealing with different kinds of personalities, and so we can only talk about some of the basic things, principles that can apply to general situations. Yeah. So if you would want to ask questions about your own personal situation, feel free to let us know. Just share your questions in the comments, and we'll gladly be happy to address it as much as possible. So, for me, I feel like the foundation of any relationship really matters as to how the relationship will go. If it's going to be successful, is if it's going to be a great relationship, you have to see how the relationship itself starts to be able to say, okay, for example, when you start dating somebody, are you asking the right questions? How much do you know about this person? How much do you know about this person? What's their history? What's their background? All right. And then you want to know what their goals are, what their dreams and aspirations are, right? So, and then there are also dynamics like forgiveness in relationship because, you will always get hurt. People will do things to step on your toes, to hurt your feelings. How do you manage that? How do we practice forgiveness? Because sometimes you might feel like what they did is unforgivable, is too much. But how do you deal with that? These are some of the things that we would like to be talking about. So I would like to introduce my very own pastor who will be joining us today. Um, he's here with us today. Hello, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning,
Joseph
Mahai.
Siju.
How you doing? Good morning. Hope the weather is okay over there. Yeah,
Everything is good. How are you doing today, sir?
I can't complain. I'm happy. I'm good. I'm good. Today is Saturday, so it's the time to rest and to think about other thing coming up
Yes.
for next week. Yeah. Mm, yeah.
That's great. That's great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So before you came in, I was just trying to let them know that we'll be talking about how we can maintain our relationships, whether it's friendship, whether you're dating,
Mm-hmm.
and also if you're married, how can we maintain that relationship? How can we water it? It's how it's as much as we pour into our relationship, that is how much we will get out of the relationship. And so I wanted us to start from the base of foundation. You know,
Mm-hmm.
how does the foundation, the beginning of a relationship, of a relationship affect how that relationship is going to go? When it comes to dating, how does the foundation of your dating relationship, because it is good as Christians for us to put God at the center of our relationship. So
Mm-hmm.
how does the foundation of a relationship affect how the relationship would go in the
Mm.
future?
Yeah. Thank you so much. And I think relationship is everything, and foundation is very important when we are building relationships. And relationship can be of different type. So I always say this: how do we keep our relationship healthy? And how do we start? Regardless of how you define your relationship, there are important steps you can take to ensure that your connection is healthy. Strategies that can help you to see that your relationship is healthy is God factor is very important. Showing appreciation and gratitude that you are you are good to be related with. God factor first. So that is where, if we look at God factor, so if you get involved in a relationship, it could be romantic relationship, family relationship, work relationship, friendship relationship. God start first. You must have a discerning
Yeah.
spirit that this person I can relate with this person. Um, Communicating openly and honesty. That's the basic. You want to define it. Being affectionate or showing that you care, mutual respect, actively listening, showing interest in each other. So, but everything starts with God. God come first. You have to ask God, is it the right relationship for me to get into? Even if it's just ordinary friendship, you have to choose your friend. Friendship is by choice, not by force. There's some friends you get into as a friend, and that will mess up your destiny totally. So it start the basic stuff from God, because He's the one that created you. He said, "I know the plan that I have towards you. You don't know it." So taking a step without God can mess you up big time. So everything starts from God. Communication is often the single most important things in a relationship. It's very important that we communicate that with God and we communicate that with ourselves. Another thing I will say that we form the basic for your foundation is to discover who you are. Who are you? And in getting relation, you have to discover who you are. Before getting into anybody, I want to know, who am I? What am I doing? Can I handle this? Did I have the capacity? And we talk about strength capacity. We talk about emotional capacity. We talk about productive capacity. We talk about intellect capacity. So you want to have it to handle these things. And then two is you have to love yourself. You have to be able to love yourself. There's no way I can love if you don't love yourself. We're from different background. I don't know your component. You are created in a different way, but you have to love yourself. That is why when you're getting into relation with anybody, the first thing is to define the relationship. You have to define it, no matter how it looks like. Figuring out what matters to you and your partner is an important steps in defining the type of relationship you are interested in having. So you have to define any relationship you're getting into. How you define your relationship depend on various factors. Number one, including what matters to you. So it's basics. What does really matters to you, and how the other person feels about it. It can be anything. Are you a child of God, or you've not yet known God, or you're trying to really know God? So all those things come into being. So you getting yourself into somebody that will not help your life to move forward will be a big issue. You don't marry by emotion. You don't get into relationship by emotion. No,
Thank
it's
you.
beyond that. Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you. Thank you so much, Pastor.
yeah. Yeah,
Just
thank
before we really dive into the conversation, I
you.
just wanted to
Mm,
quickly introduce our other guest that just joined us.
mm,
Guys, this is Oluwatola and this is
mhm.
Dami. Hi, Dami. Hi, Tola. How are you doing
Yeah,
today?
Hi, I'm doing very well. Nice
great.
for you to have me again, once again. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. How are you, Dami?
I'm well, thank you
Mm,
for asking. It's a pleasure being here.
Good to see you. Good to see you. So I think that we should just do a little game. Should I call it a game or something for our viewers, those that are watching us? I want you guys to quickly tell us in the comments, what is your relationship status? Okay, if you're not shy, if you're not afraid, if you can say with your full chest, I want to really Tola is already
Let me
laughing.
let me put my
Okay.
own. I'm married.
Pastor started
Okay, just say you're already like, okay, I'm married. Let everybody know.
it.
Okay. So tell us in the comments, are you married? Are you single? Are you in a
Single.
situationship or a relationship? Or are you still trying to figure it out? If you're shy, you really don't want people to know, you can use numbers. Number one for married, number two for dating, number three for situationship. Just anything that is anything that is not dating or that is not marriage. Just tell us in the comments. We really want to know. So, but Tola, I want to know. I want to put you on the spot. Are you in a relationship or you are single and you're not ready to mingle?
Single and praying. Let me put it that way.
That's a new
You
one. Single and praying. Praying for
can
what,
hear
my
the
Praying
brother?
and
you can hear the Christian out of it praying.
What about you, Dami?
I'm single.
Oh, she's single. Yay. Okay, cool. Right, Tola, we'll get to that prayer part later. Let's be sure what's going on. Okay, so Pastor Joseph said something about having to define your relationship at the beginning when you started. That is a good foundation. Why is it that these days people just start something, say let's just see how it goes. Okay, it's just a fling. I'm not sure. You understand? And sometimes when a guy and a girl they've been friends, they are having they are going out, they are having good times together, and girls we easily start to catch feelings, you start to
Mm,
catch emotions, but in the guy's mind he has not really said anything, he's just like in the surface, right?
mhm,
So my question to you, Dami, if you knew someone in that situation, right? For the girl, what will you tell her? Should she be bold enough to ask the guy to sit the guy down and say, okay, dude, we've been going on dates, you've been calling me, we talk, we have conversations all night and all day, and you've not really told me where this is going. Do you think it's a bold step, for your own part? And then for Tola, if a girl comes to you and sits you down and asks you, okay, can you define this relationship? Where are we going? Do you feel like she's being too forward? Do you feel like, okay, well, girl, calm down. I'm going to let you know when, I'm ready to make this official. So go ahead, Dami first. Dami, go first, please.
So that question is the ideal way to approach it. But as a woman, especially when the man has been very consistent in his actions and is showing that you both are getting along. But I just think as a woman, it's good to be open to to the response the man tells you.
Okay.
So because the man can either say, "Oh, I'm not ready for a relationship, but I like our vibe."
I know, right? Vibes. That's the word they use.
I know, just or the man can really say, "I like you as a girlfriend. Maybe this is a step for us to define the relationship." So, as a woman, it's ideal to ask that question
mm.
and just be open to whatever the response the man would give you, and then based on what the man tells you, then you could then take actions on what you do.
Okay. Okay. What about you, Tola? What do you think if a
Um,
lady asks you that kind of question?
I personally I feel it's best to define it at the beginning. I mean, you may not define it directly, but through your actions you can define it. So, for example, if I meet someone new, I'm not the kind of person that will start calling you 24/7, sending you text 24/7. No, how you doing? Have you eating? That kind of stuff. I try to build like a bridge in between. So if I check up on you maybe this week, maybe it may be towards the end of next week. Next I would check up on you because I don't want to give you that thought like, okay, this guy is being intentional. Because for a guy to be intentional, he has to be doing something consistently for like I think 30 days, and then ladies will start reading meaning to it. And then initially there are some conversations you have with people, and then it's just flowing, flowing, flowing. Personally, I feel you should know when to break it. You should know when to, oh yeah, she has sent you a text, but deliberately don't reply immediately. So because you don't want to start sending triggers and responses. No, it's true. You don't want to start sending triggers and responses there, and then till you are sure of what you want with the person. And be careful with the kind of words you use when you're having those conversations as well. So don't start talking about things like marriage, relationship, children, settling down, that kind of stuff. Because those words for a lady can send. I mean, if I'm talking to my guy friends and I'm saying all those words, it doesn't really mean anything. Or if I'm talking to a female friend that we know we are very cool people, like it doesn't really mean anything. But a girl that, for example, already has interest in you, and sometimes they won't tell you, but in their head she's already feeling you, and then you start sending those kind of words, saying those kind of words, being like so intentional, responding all the time. Like if she sends you a message now, you're responding the next 30 seconds. I mean, you're already sending those signals. So personally, there are ways to define it. You can define it verbally, and if you are defining it verbally, you have to be very polite so you don't hurt her feelings. And then two, you can define it indirectly. Non-verbally by your actions. Just try to like don't be too backwards and don't be too forward. Just be in the middle. That's what I'll say.
Mm.
I like that. Just
Serious.
she said, don't be too forward and don't be too backward. Just be in the middle.
Um,
But I
ah,
feel I feel like for the lady, like Dami said, just be ready if he says yes or if he says no. If he says no, you will definitely feel bad if you were having feelings for
oh,
him. But I would say for a girl, if a guy tells you no, please don't try to push, don't try to force it. Don't try to say, oh no, consider and all that. just swallow your pride, accept his what he has said, because the guy will tell you honestly how he feels. If you try to insinuate, try to influence his decision, whatever comes after that, just know that he's just trying to please you so that he will move on. That's what I feel.
So, so my question in this is, how long should we be together before I start defining the
I know.
relationship?
Yeah.
Because my it is highly, especially, let me talk now in Christian circuits now. We can undo both sides. If we're just in the world, I'm not Christian. I'm not so attaching serious issue about my spiritual or anything. We I won't bother much. We can alter ourselves. We can do what we need to do. But let me say that when you value human being, value relationship, and we're getting into relationship, for me, the first thing, we agree to you, you greet me, and within 4 days, 3 days, I find out we're getting close. You keep on asking about me. As you see me, you saw me in church. You met me in church the following Sunday. How you doing? And I see your presence within everywhere. So I will say, ask about your life. If I'm not interested in full relationship that have to lead to romantic relationship, you're defining right there. I just like the way you behave. I just like what you're doing. Not on marital level, but I like the way you talk. I like your word encourage me. I'm not in marriage. I'm not ready for marriage. I know that you're not ready also. If I say that, the person might say, "Oh, I'm really ready for marriage, but I'm not thinking about marriage now." But I think you should define it in the beginning, because we're different. The way we see things is different. The way our emotion move is different. You can control the way I think. So me seeing you, I might have interest in you in the first place, and if you don't, we don't quickly define things, I might be carried away. I might start talking about you, and you wait like 3 months before defining what you want to me. That might be hurtful. But I
Yeah.
said people should define it. There's nothing wrong being friend. Friendship does not mean you need to resort to marriage or romantic marriage. We can be friends that you advise, that you open doors for me, you connect me to the next level. That's what relationship. But I think we need to define relationship. It will help. You want to find out within yourself, am I romantically involved in this? Am I having romantic feelings for this
For
person
this
that I'm talking to? What does each person hope to get out of this relationship? What do I want to get out from it? You have to think about it, talk about it, sit down, and that we help each other. So you won't get offended if another guy is talking to me. You won't start behaving anyhow if somebody else is talking to you. So how much time do you want to spend together? So like what Bratola said, then you have to careful your language. Communication is everything.
yeah.
Don't lead anybody on. The same way men can lead women on, women also can lead men on. And you find that you thought, this girl like me, oh, I just tried to involve, and I said, no, no, I don't like you that way. I just like you as a friend. It's more painful to men than women. And many of you don't know the
Oh,
reason why men don't really come out quickly to say I love you. They're afraid. 75% of men are afraid to talk to women. They don't want to hear no. So they wait a little bit till they find that the girl is really showing strong interest. So I would say define the relationship on time, so
okay.
that before everybody start having wrong feeling that we affect
Mhm.
each other. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. So
Mhm.
we have defined the relationship, and maybe let's just say, okay, you agree we should date, we should start something off. So we start dating. Now, what I see these days is that some ladies or some people, what are the expectations by the time you start dating? Because these expectations are what will cause quarrel or what will bring joy in the relationship. You understand? For some girls, they already want to be stepping into shoes that they are not there yet. You understand? They're already doing wife things when they are still girlfriend. You understand? And for the guys, they are setting certain expectations from the lady. Meanwhile, they are not even matching up to that expectation. You expect her to be a wife material. Okay, let me begin to see if you are good enough to be a wife, And then, but you are not even being responsible. You are not even punctual. You don't keep to time. You forget when you say, okay, we're going to do something. You're not consistent in the relationship. So, my question to you, Tola, is that what are the red flags when you're dating somebody, when you're dating a lady, what are the red flags for you that you would say, okay, this is good, but I don't think I can deal with this.
Red flags, red flags. Ah, Omo. That's huge. But I think number one red flag for me is if you are the kind of person that and I just want to go back on what Pastor said when he said define early. Because for me, I like to be friends with you first. I like to know your temperament. So are you the kind of person that if someone says something to you that offends you, you are easily triggered? Because one of my red flags is I don't like bottling things inside. So if you have an issue with me or I have an issue with you, yes, it may not be the appropriate time to talk about it, but just mention it. Then you bottle it inside, and then maybe 3, 4 years down the line, you start reminding me in 1992 you did this and that. I mean, that thing it turns me off ASAP. It turns me off. That's a huge red flag from people that keep things within themselves, and then you ask them, is everything all right? They keep telling you everything is fine. When deep down you know it's not fine. Um, Number two red flag for me is, I mean, not knowing, okay, like what you want out of, let me just say life, because everybody has purpose. Everybody has like, you should have a direction of where your life is headed to. And if you know where your life is, the direction of where your life is headed to, definitely it will affect the things you do, like your finances, career, relationship, and whatnot. But if you are just the kind of person that says, let's wing it and see how things go, or this is how um let's just wing it and see how things go. For me personally, it's like, so if we can wing it for the next 1, 2 years and you still not be sure of what you want, I think those are the two major red flags for me. Then if you have asked me this question maybe 4, 5 years ago, I would have hammered so much on you must be, the spiritual part is there, like being spiritual and everything, but I would have hammered so much on you must be able to do this and do this spiritual. But I mean, personally, I feel people change, and I've seen people change over the course of time. Spiritually, being spiritually inclined is very important, and not not having some kind of spiritual understanding.
Uh-huh.
I'll wave the red flag on that one, because there's a level of that spirituality part to it. Everybody goes to church, but when you start talking, diving deep into spiritual aspect, like family backgrounds, foundations, like let me just
Mm-hmm.
sound spiritual now, like covenants and those kind of things. What's your level there? Are you the kind of I've met someone, came from a background where the grandparents were never married but had kids. Her
Wow.
parents were never married but had she and her sister. And then when I now started pointing, and this was on a date, and I started pointing it out to her, I said, yeah, she knows, she knows God will take control. I'm like, my dear, this is like, let's just say 80, your grandparents live for, let's say 80 years. Your parents are 80. That's like almost 160 years. And you're like, God will take control. Yes, God will take
Mm-hmm.
control. What are you doing in person to allow God to take control? Are you serious? Are you aware of it? That's the first thing. Clearly, she
Mm-hmm.
was not aware of it, because when I started pointing it out and like using scriptures and everything, she wasn't fully
She
aware of it.
wasn't conscious.
Yeah, she wasn't conscious of it. And I'm not saying she can't grow up to be conscious of it, but for me personally, I mean, I'm not
Okay.
expecting you to be the one that ties scarf and you're
I
shaking,
get
but at
you. I
least
get
have
you
the
right. Though
consciousness
you
of
might not be
what's
too
going.
spiritual, but be
Yeah,
spiritually
have the
conscious.
consciousness of what's
Yes.
going on in your spiritual life as you are having the consciousness of what's going on in your physical life. So I think
True.
those three for me is the
Mm,
red flag, major red flag.
Before you say something, Pastor Joseph, to that, I just wanted to quickly recognize the people joining us online. I can see your comments coming in.
mm.
The last one here says attitude also can play a major role. Also, your attitude really matters. You get that. So, I wanted us to touch, Pastor Joseph. I wanted us to touch a bit on what Tola said about holding things in your mind and having resentment in marriage. Let's refer to marriage now, because when you're married, you're now with your spouse, you guys are living life. Day one offense, okay, let me just forget about it. Maybe you don't talk about it. Day two offense, you just keep it in your mind. Day three offense, you say, okay, let me talk about it. You guys talk about it, you argue. Instead of settling the difference, the argument even leads to another extended fight, and then you start to grow resentful towards your partner. You find it difficult to forgive. How do you deal with that in marriage, knowing that this person, you're going to be with the person for a long time?
So I will connect to that, but let me quickly say a little thing about what Bratola said. The first question is about defining your relationship. So defining your relationship is highly important. If we don't define relationship, you can't get angry with me if I get angry, because we're not committed. If we're not defining the relationship, I can do what I want to do. Is a free word. I'm not attached to you. So, but when we define the relationship, especially when God has spoken to me, the first thing to do is really to pray. So when I meet you, the first thing I want to pray, Lord, is this person good for me? I like this person. It looks good. He has six pack like mine. He's tall. He has muscle. He has intellect. Lord, go and pray. The first thing for you before even going out is to go and pray first. If you have prayed and God said, yeah, go ahead. So the first thing you want to define the relationship with into, I don't know if you're going out, this I'm interested. Then we are committed. Then we talk that in this relation we're defining it. We're not yet married. We're not married in the next 2 years. This is what we're defining. No sex in this marriage. We have to respect each other. That's why you outline in this relationship. We've not yet married. I'm not going to be your slave to be washing your clothes. No, that will not happen. I'm not going. We can go out and eat. We can do this, but I want as much for us to curtail what we're doing. Then what we're doing is what Paratola said, to learn if I'm angry. You don't know me. You met me when I was 35. I have one attitude from 1 to 35. I won't change overnight. We can all mingle things together. But the first thing I will say this, be open-minded and talk. Once you see a character or things that you don't like, it seems that it doesn't will not go well with you, bring it up a little bit, not to say it in anger. Variation makes marriage very good. Some of you will be quiet, some of you will not be quiet. There are things your wife or your the person you married or you want to marry will have that you don't have. It's good. It's to complete the marriage. But few things that you want to deal with is some bad attitude, which we were not going there yet, that we can work on. And we can set. I don't like the way you say this. I don't like it hurts me in this way. Some people can undo jokes. Those are the things you learn during this relationship, during this engaging, what they call it, engaging or courting. You want to study each other very well. Then you will not know each other during that period. I won't lie to you. There are a few things you won't know. If you come from a very abusive environment or very secretive, separate environment, a lot of things you will know. They keep things in their mind. They don't talk. It's when you marry. People assume differently when we marry. I believe that this is mine now, and it's just wrong and ignorance that is affecting them, that this is mine, I can do anything, she can't talk anyhow. So we're not talking about that now. But when you are married and you are now doing things that is affecting your partner intentional, that is bad. So if we have defined the relationship properly and we get into it during courtship, and we're able to talk about things that we like or we don't like, and we get into marriage, and you start seeing other things, it's part of the marriage. Is an open box. There are some attitude that each one of us will be bringing into that relationship that will be hurting you. Talk about it, communicate, talk about it, talk about it. Well, there's some factor that can destroy relationship. When couple, I said something long time ago. See, when couple enter into a fantasy bond, that's what we call fantasy bond. It's a very powerful one. Then we substitute the fantasy of being connected in a place of re-relating. Some how the fantasy bond start. You find that we're at home, we don't talk to each other, we're on the phone throughout. But because we're in the house, we believe we're married. It's fantasy, we're not. We're in the car, we're both on different phone, we're just talking, but we never relate to each other at all until we get there. And we get to party also. We sit down, love, you cool? Okay, let me hang with my friend. We came there to the party together. But you're hanging with your friend, I'm here alone. I'm hanging with other people. It's like fantasy. We don't even relate. We don't talk. We don't discuss. It's called fantasy. So when a couple establish a fantasy bond, they tend to become increasingly close off to real dialogue. They won't discuss. So if I said you did it, you offended me, I'm sorry, you're so I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Won't we talk about this? But I'm told you I'm sorry. You see that it's piling up.
Yeah.
It's piling up gradually, and instead of dialoguing, they get defensive,
Yes.
and that fade the law. Are you getting it? So mine will be the first thing. Communicate, talk about it. We talk, we
So
say
how do
some.
you, sorry to cut you, sir. So
Mhm,
in communicating, when you have
mhm,
offenses or you're offended by your spouse, how
mhm.
can we communicate in a peacefully manner, to settle our differences? How can we be sensitive to how we approach the other person, knowing that okay, you've done something I don't like, okay, I want to tell you about it. What should the other
Mhm.
person, what point should that other person be listening from so that, sometimes we get defensive. You want to say, oh, no, why we say this? You understand that kind of thing. So, how do we manage communication to settle our differences?
The first thing is not to have a angry reaction to feedback. Don't have angry reaction to feedback. If you really want to make it work, don't have angry reaction to feedback. Instead of being open, just open and talk about it. Don't be close to new experiences. Talk about it and listen. Listen to the party that said you offended me. What you said is wrong. Try and listen. Don't just push whatever they are saying aside. You are taking it too much. You're not the one that is offended. I'm the one that is offended. So you
Mhm.
have to be able to reason with my offense and be able to let us talk about it. So and find way for us to resolve it so that that will not happen again. You want peace. That's what you want, unless you don't want the relationship again. So
Mhm.
uh, arguing on things that is not reasonable will not make anything. So accept your responsibility, accept what you've done. And sometimes we say, I didn't do that, I didn't mean to do that. So you didn't mean to do that, but it hurt me in this way. So I'm sorry. Sincerely in your heart, be sorry for that. So that things will not fall apart. It's highly important. And
So I wanted to ask a follow-up question to that.
mhm, mhm,
For let me say Dami, for example, if you
mhm,
were in a relationship, you're having differences with your spouse or the person you're dating, and then you notice that each time you come to him to say, okay, you did this, I don't like it, you're communicating, and then the next thing he's telling you is that it's making you feel like it's all in your head. You understand? Maybe you're overreacting. It is you, it's not me. You are misunderstanding the concept. He doesn't really respect your emotion. How would you handle that kind of situation?
is it
I,
to Dami or to me?
the
To
question is to
Dami,
Mr. Joseph. Oh, to me.
Dami, yeah.
yes.
Oh, I think my my whole outlook is to get to understand the person more. And I understand, I already expressed myself that I feel offended by that action. And I would like to ask the person, what was your intention with that action? What did you mean to do? And just hear, listen. That's one thing I learned, listen for the person's intention. And when I hear the person's intention, I was okay. I s- and um and when I hear the person's intention, I think first of all I'm self-aware that I'm upset. But to bring peace and to resolve it amicably, I would hear the person's intention. I say, for the future, if that's your intention, I would prefer you do it this certain way. And then hopefully it goes well. but sometimes, but sometimes one thing I've also realized is that people also feel inadequate or feel bad when they hear that another person is offended by their action. And that's when they start to overreact or they start to gaslight the other
Yes.
person. But
Mm-hmm.
like it's not really about, or maybe if the person already feels inadequate, or I'll probably just give them a compliment somewhere to make them feel better.
Okay.
Then I was okay. As long as I already validated that emotion of them positively, then I'll say, let's come back to this situation. This is how I felt offended. Maybe I'm sensitive. Maybe you're right. But for me, I understand that was your intention. But in the future, you could approach it a certain way and it will be good. And then
Fantastic.
just hear the
Fantastic.
person's feedback. The person might say, "Oh, it's all in your head," whatever the person is. But I think that sometimes at that point the person might not really be getting it. But when over time when they reflect and
Uh-huh.
as long as I put an action plan in place,
Mm-hmm.
when that situation happens again, they will think about the action plan and then hopefully work on it.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I wanted to quickly remind our viewers that you can ask questions, you can follow the conversation.
Mhm.
Just go to the comments and just share your mind, pour out your heart. We want to hear from you. What do you think? What are your thoughts about these conversations? We're going to ask you questions once you are able to send it across to us. So just type in the comments what your questions are, and we will be able to address it. So now going into maintaining, keeping that relationship alive, keeping the romance alive, making it fun, interesting. We'll look at it from
Mhm.
all the angles: dating, marriage, friendship. But let Pastor Joseph talk to us about, keeping your marriage alive, keeping the romance alive. What are the things that we can do to keep the marriage interesting, adventurous, something that you are not just being a parent, going to doctor's appointments, coming back and doing work and job, doing daddy and mommy duties. So, what are the things, sir, that you do to keep the relationship and the romance alive in your marriage?
Few things you can do. Number one, learn the language, the love language of your partner,
Love language,
and
yes. I
and,
want your
and
love
try
language.
and love. So because the major thing for the love language is to strengthen your connection with the person.
What if you
Well,
don't
that's
know
what
your
it.
love language?
You can always find your love language. It's easy to find. Ask your spouse what you love to see, what you want you to do for her, or what you want you to do for him. And it's easy to know each partner, your spouse love language, if you really observe them. And if you really love them, you will see what they complain about often. Oh, you don't help me. The way you talk is too harsh. That means you know that like
Words
word
of
of affirmation.
affirmation,
You don't help
acts
me
of
service.
service.
Somebody wants you to touch them. Those are the things that will really help. And few things also, go out alone. Two of you, both of you go out alone. Talk about things easy. Spend time. Those things revive the marriage. Take time to talk to sit together. Not only when you want to have sex, you talk together. And some people don't even talk. Not only when you want to talk about bill that you discuss. Talk about
Yeah,
everything. Be free. Let your partner be your friend. You can talk anything. I can talk anything in my house. I can say anything. It doesn't matter who is there. I can talk anything with my wife. I can discuss anything. It doesn't bother me. So you want to spend quality time and still do word of affirmation. Some doesn't like touch. I will hear someone say it's too clingy. I don't like it. Find out
yeah,
what makes your partner to be happy and do it. Because if he's happy or she's happy, you will be happy, and then you can move forward and you can live joyfully. So few thing I do, I find out what my wife loves most. He likes people to help. Like she likes word of affirmation. She doesn't like going out, but I plan for vacation, and then we can go out and all those that, and
mm-hmm.
try to hang around the house a little bit and
Yeah.
to talk. And again, I call her from work. I go to our office most of some time.
Oh,
Um, and I do that sometime. I just drive down if I have the time. Sometime I ask what's going on at your work. And actually, I'm a confident, so we talk about things going on. She's feeling bad. I'm ready to listen.
yes,
When we just got married, sometime when things go, I could be judgmental. Sometime, but I learned that that's not helping. So I learned to listen.
yes. It's true.
Even though, yeah, sometimes I learn to listen, and sometimes I will just say, don't mind them. Because she need me to comfort her. Even though I
Yeah,
might come back later and I say, what you did is wrong.
exactly.
But I will still comfort her. Don't mind them. Don't let whatever they do or what they're doing now affect you. Just put that aside. Can you're the first person because you have to be happy. So yeah, my role to her is to make her happy and also to guide and to make sure that we have a good life. So that's what I will do, and that's what I'm still doing. And I try to involve her in some of my life issue.
Kudos to you, sir. Well done. I
And
like that part when
again,
you talked about when
and
you talked about
the major one is to respect our view.
Mm.
So many times you kill women by not respecting their view. They will just internalize things that whatever I say, you won't take it. So no need of me contributing to your life. So you have to learn to respect their view. So that's why I do that. So that's fine.
Yeah, I agree with you totally, Lisa, because sometimes for women, all they just want is for you to listen to them. They can come and be telling you the story about everything that happened at work and be telling you what this person did, what that person did. And men, I think that they just always want to come from that point of, okay, what's the solution? Let me start doing the mathematics to give her the answer.
Mm,
Meanwhile, all you just need to do is just listen and just agree with her. Oh, yeah, wow, it's true. Are you serious? Like, that is why girls will always want to, it's just having someone to connect with. Most times the woman knows the solution to the problems that she's telling you already, but she just wants to have that connection with you to say, okay, just hear me out. I just want to give me a shoulder to cry or comfort me. So I totally agree with you, Pastor.
mm.
You also said something about ladies that, or when your spouse is being clingy. I wanted to ask Tola that, okay, if you were dating a girl, are you, she just falls madly in love with you, and all of a sudden you wake up one morning, she's become so clingy. She's the first voice you hear in the morning. You know that girls like that now. She's like, "Oh, hi, Tola, I just wanted to check on you." 5 minutes later, "Oh, I just wanted to bring you this."
There are guys like that also. There are guys like
Are
that
you for
also.
real?
Yeah.
Tola, what will you do if all of a sudden the girl that you're dating and you felt like she was cool, she's just too clingy, she's all over you? How would you manage that kind of situation?
I mean, to be honest, man, I've not been in that situation, so I don't know how to handle it. I don't
Thank
think
you for
that's the
saying
right
the truth.
question. Let me just say the truth. I don't know how to handle it because I've not really found myself in such a situation like that. But for me, if I'm to go by what is in my head, or more, I will try and suppress communication a bit because I mean, if I'm hearing your voice in the morning, hearing your voice afternoon, hearing your voice at night, let's give
So
let there be space so we can find something interesting. But I,
What
I,
about
I've not been in such a
Pastor
situation. I
Joseph? Before you
can't.
say something, I want to hear what Dami has to say. Dami, what will you do if the guy you're dating, he's like always checking on you? Maybe you feel like it's too much. Like, dude, just can you give me a break?
First of all, this is how I would approach it. I'd rather maybe make a phone call just to hear the person's tone. And I would say, I don't know. I see that we've been talking more often than we used to do before. And I really do appreciate hearing from you. And maybe at that time, I will also look at what I need at that time. Maybe it's not space. Maybe and we need an activity that will connect me with the person as well. Because sometimes when someone is reaching out to me more often than I'm reaching out to them, for me, I think that our connectivity level is not we are not up to par. Because normally when you are well connected with the person, you should be willing to talk to each other as often as possible. But
mm,
I would say that maybe our connectivity level is not up to par, and I see that you've been reaching out to me often. Why don't then I'll bring up something that I enjoy doing. So why don't
Okay,
we do this on
instead.
this particular day, and that way we'll be looking forward to it together.
Mm.
mm,
So
mm.
Pastor
that's
Joe,
how
please
I
go
approach
ahead.
it, Pastor.
Nice one, nice one.
That's
Thank
your
you,
thoughts.
Dami.
You're welcome.
So for me, it's two part. The clinging part is two part. If the clinging part is just to hear from you, to just be, if you're in love, you spend time talking. I won't lie to you, but whatever you're talking, just have to be constructive. If the clicking parts be in time of controlling, then I'm in trouble. You want to monitor where I am. Why are you there? And it's easy to know if you're clinging to me, or your is looking like controlling pattern to me now. That, oh,
Mm-hmm.
you call, where are you? What are you doing now? Why are you still there? You feel the word why is still coming up. So, and
Mm-hmm.
I slow down. Why are you so concerned about why? Then the issue is that this will be a controlling freak
Oh, wow.
for my life. So it's you have to do it's they separate both. If the calling is I just want to check on you, are you okay? I'm good, I'm doing well. And can I call you back? I'm at work? And make sure you test out also, test the person back also.
Okay.
You see, relate in marriage, some people that are married that are listening now, you
Mm-hmm.
don't want to just stop somebody get angry at people because person is clinging to you. Because he flip back, If the person now feel as if you see her as a burden or see me as a burden, it can flip.
Yeah.
Then the relationship go on, but you now find out you won't get the best out of her. In relationship, I want you to cling. I want us to be close. I want you to be my best friend. I want us to be able to discuss everything. But when being close now become a control, that you want to control my life, that
Yes.
is when I will please, you're my space all the time, and it's in negative form. So if it's
Yes.
in positive form, it's a big issue. When I was going out with my wife, we can be on the phone for 4 hours, 4 hours, we can talk. But if we're busy, I'm busy, can we call back? Even at work, she's at work now, I can still text her. Is everything okay? I can call. My wife is not the type that call. She doesn't call. But then I have to say that you don't call. So I just want to find out what's going on. But she will call. If I didn't pick up, you didn't pick up, but I've been calling since. But you don't want to just break up because somebody is clinging to you. You can find that sometime
Yes.
also. Some people lack that relationship when they are growing. No
Yes.
relation. Now find that you are loving, they open up to you. If you close it back, if you eventually marry that person, you will be dealing with a close person. I get it. So study the clinging and see that it's not the one that is controlling your life or the one that
Yeah.
just want to check on you before you make a decision on what to do.
True. True, sir.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if you're just if go ahead, Dami. Please go ahead.
I love how Pastor mentioned about how your upbringing could also affect how you interact with the
Mm.
romantic person or with the lover, because also bring about attachment styles as well, and how we all have different attachment styles, because that's
Mhm.
important there.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
also a point of the control. It just makes me think that we all want a sense of freedom.
Hmm.
Yes.
Do you agree?
True.
Yeah.
So I was going to add to that that yeah, it's good that Pastor mentioned that sometimes the clinginess might be it, you have to identify if it's positive or negative. And if you're just dating in a relationship, you should pay attention if it's the negative one, because if you ignore that part, it might be something that would escalate when you get married. You will not
Yeah.
find out that you're in marriage with somebody that is cutting you off from people, monitoring your life, checking on you, saying don't do this, don't do that. Is trying to, just close your destiny and just put you inside. And you know how marriage determines a lot how much you achieve in your life. It affects you. Whether are you going to fulfill your purpose or destiny? Most people have been affected by the people,
Mm.
by the spouses they chose to marry, because you marry somebody that is not trying to control your life. We don't want to have that. We don't really want to have that. And this is just a follow-up question to that here. That okay, how can we maintain a healthy balance between spending time together and pursuing your individual interests? Because I think that if we can balance that dynamic, it will help you guys enjoy your time together. Okay, maybe you're pursuing something individually, and then we have something that we're doing collectively. So, Pastor Joseph, tell us how we can maintain, a healthy relationship, between spending time together and then individually.
If the relationship is about both of us achieving a lot, communication is the key. Let's talk about it. This is our life. Schedule time. When do we meet? This is what I'm doing now. If I know what you're doing now, I won't be expecting much of your time to be spent on what is not, that will not move your career forward, that will not
Yes,
move your life forward. So it's about communication is often the single most important things in relationship. Let's talk about it. Oh, my school at this. Oh, you'll be busy this weekend, so I might come around, maybe spend 30 minutes with you so that I can find time to talk. You are busy with this. So communication, let's talk about it. And once we talk about it, we can now say that this time we can use this time to do this. We can use this time so that we can all be on the same page. So if you're doing things and you didn't properly, there's no proper communication about what you're doing and how to manage things, there will be conflicts. So I will say communication. Let's communicate. Let's talk about what we're doing. Let's talk about our plans. Are we getting it? You can have your plans, I can have my plans, but we can have the one we bring together to
together.
move the family forward. So relating with somebody shouldn't stop your progress individually, shouldn't
Yes,
affect your own lifting. is a wrong thing. I said, since we're married now, you have to follow all my vision. That is a very wicked one. So we all came here for a purpose, and we should be able to help each other's vision to come to life. Are you getting it? So, but that's what I need to say concerning that. Yeah.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Pastor. Let's talk
Mm.
about. I wanted us to quickly just talk about, there are some of the things in relationship that usually cause, conflict. Like, for example, finances. When it comes to money, it's always a sensitive topic, whether you're dating or you're married. Once it comes to money, is either the lady is claiming, okay, it's our money, my money is my money, or when it comes to like settling bills, paying for this and that, people, maybe for the ladies, might have more expectation for the men. But the society is changing now. I don't know, there's a different dynamics to it. So let me ask Dami, what would you think? Dami,
I'm not married.
no, I mean, in a relationship, I want to talk about finance in dating, as a lady who wants to be dating, right?
Yeah.
What are your expectations from a guy that you want to be dating financially? Do you expect him to be, he should be financially okay? Should he be the one to take up some certain bills? Girls are really having demands on guys right now. Tola is adjusting because he knows that this topic is serious. But let me hear from Dami first.
Personally, I can afford my basic needs.
I know, right?
So
Yes, that's it.
any guy that is generous and is trying to give me money, I would really appreciate it. Like it's not a need for me in a relationship, but I would see it as a plus for him that is a generous person, and I would take the money. But in terms of
Mm.
like my basic need, I mean,
And you will take it.
But what if, yeah, we get that. Yes, you are fine. I mean, you're comfortable. But
yeah.
what if this guy he has, but he's stingy?
And
You will
that's a
notice
sign
that.
that he's not a generous person. That's already giving you feedback about himself that he's not a generous person. Or maybe he's not there in the relationship yet that he feels like he needs to provide. That's another thing to look at as well.
Okay.
Maybe he's not there in the relationship yet that he feels like he can provide, or maybe he's generally not a generous person. And I think relationship, what I've seen before, that's why it's important to date and court before marriage,
Yeah.
so that you start to see those qualities. And if you see those qualities that are displeasing, it's either you address it and you just and hear the other person's opinion. And when you hear the other person's opinion, it's like, okay, I hear you, but this is not, you can think in your head that this is not what I want. You could either continue the relationship or just you both go different ways before
Yeah.
you get into marriage. Because I think that's the importance of dating and courting, to get to know each other more and determine if this is worth going to the marriage or
Mhm.
stopping right there.
Yeah. What about you, Tola? What
Mhm.
do you think? What do you think about that?
If it's still in the terms of finances, I mean, it's personally it's very important. And from a single person's perspective, I mean, I'll personally say you should know what you can afford, and or cut your coat or your shirt according to your size. And be open. I know there are girls out there now. Once you tell them, "Oh, sorry, I can't afford this," they begin to look you a certain kind of way, and that's still the thing about the underlying factor about friendship. But me personally, I mean, if I can afford it, yes, fine. If I can't afford it, I'll tell you upfront. I don't think I can afford this right now. I mean, I don't really care how you look at me. If you look at me one way, it's your cup of tea. But if I can do it, I'll do it. But I noticed there's a trend with women now. It's like it's called the billing trend. Like you see women billing guys unnecessarily, and I'm like, the heck is going on? Oh, I want to do this, I want to buy this. They'll bill the guy. They want to do this, they'll bill the guy. I mean, from a guy's perspective, and I stand corrected. Yeah, a guy can know when a girl is a liability as well, because most guys don't want girls that are liability. So if a guy
Okay.
takes you out first, second, third date, maybe fourth date, have the initiative of, don't worry, I'll handle this one. It depends on how you guys flow. But if it's always a guy is taking you out multiple dates, and not even for once have you even like tried to bring out card, that's back to red flag. Oh.
So your guys like the rich. Wait, hold on,
Make
Tola.
attempt, just bring out the card and
Yeah,
say,
you
"Oh,
like
boy,
the rich.
I'll pay for it." It's to show that thing, but you just sat there, you are looking, you want now that takeaway. Madam,
He said, "Want to order takeaway." She even
And
brought her
that's the only
friends
red
too to come
flag.
and take extra. Can you imagine
But
the
I mean,
So,
audacity?
first, second date, fine. I'll do it. Third date, maybe. But fourth date, I mean, bulge now. Just pretend, and I'll tell. Don't worry. I'll tell you what. But if you bulge, um,
Pastor Joseph, please go ahead. Let's talk about
so, so,
finances.
so what they said is good, but there's nowhere in the word or in the Bible that said it's man that have to be the ATM. So, and I'm saying this generally, no women. So we're all equal in different area. We can be more great financially than each other. The lady can have better job than me. um I can be the husband in terms of leadership and to just lead and direct, but
That's
that
Yeah.
does not means that I'm financially buoyant. So when it comes to financial management, even when you are dating, and I said this to more young people, I've seen people make that big mistake, that what you're looking for when you get a guy, everything is about money. I want the guy to have something doing. I want to have something reasonable doing.
Mm-hmm.
You marry people as per where you're going, not where you are now. If the person is still in school or doing things, is tedious, sorry, and is yeah, is a good person. Tomorrow can be good. When we got married, I was working in the. I can tell you where I'm working. Nothing, but we're good today. But I can say that you don't. Money is not the basics. The first thing that you want to look at. The second thing about it also, when we come together, communication also. How do we want to manage our finances when you get into marriage? How do we? So with my little experience, 75% of women are open with their money.
Mm.
They can give anything. But when they found out that you as a man, you are not truthful
hmm
and you are not straightforward, you taught them. You start seeing that they are hiding money. Go back and talk to most women that are hiding money now that they don't open up. They've involved in relationship where they open up, they give all their salary, find that the man is using their salary to be taking care of family, take care of something, but the man does woman doesn't know. I've counseled a lot of people and I found out, wow, this is going on. You're using your money, using the collective money to be taking care of national cake. But for me, I can't get part of it. If I ask for $10, you will complain tonight, tomorrow. So mine is this. We all have to come and talk. Let's communicate about how do we manage finances in the home? What is our plan for investment? Especially when you're planning that you have children. What is so family have to plan which money are we putting aside for emergency? Which
Mm-hmm.
money are we putting aside for the school? Which money are we putting aside for investment? Which money are we putting aside for God? Those things are highly important. So it's not about this have more than me. Anybody can have more than, but if we agree and we know where we're going,
Yeah.
we have already crafted our marriage, our family is a nation. Your family is a nation. You have to see it as a nation. One person is the president, vice president, the citizen, the children, everything.
Yeah.
Financial planning is very important if you don't want to work in poverty. So mine will be two of you have to plan. Don't deceive yourself. Don't manipulate each other. Be straightforward. If I have money, I don't want to give it. I will let you know I can give it. And this is very important to us. And I've said this to marriage couple: be open about your finances to your husband. I learned from cultural wise, and then people will say, people, especially people from Africa, my father doesn't show people everything about money. And you have money, your wife wants to do things, and you keep it to you. You keep it to yourself. Your husband wants to do things, you hide the money, but you can help other people, but you can help me. So God forbid things will happen and things turn around. What will you do? And I've seen that happen several times. So mine will be let's sit down, let's plan together, let's be open, let's be sincere with each other financially. It's just money. It can fly to anywhere. So we shouldn't take it so serious. There's nothing wrong in buying food, taking people out and buying food. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
married, but I go out many times. We go out. I'm the one that we ask us we should go out. My wife is the one that we pay. We just bring out the card. I said, let me pay now. No, 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 don't worry, you pay. But that's
That's
every
it.
home have to be put together what they want to do. So
Yeah.
financially, it has to be planned. It has to be a thing you sit and plan.
And plan.
And that's what
And
I say. Yeah.
yes, and communication also. Pastor really
Yeah.
stressed on communication. It is very,
Mhm.
very important in any relationship. For any relationship to work, there has to be communication, open communication. And even someone also says it very well on the comments here. She says, you don't have to have $1 million today, but he should have a priceless vision for the future. That's talking
Mhm.
about, the wife to the husband. The person you're dating might not have 1 million today, but if he has a clear vision, he knows where it's going, then
Mhm.
trust me, together, once you pull your resources together and you support yourself, you give yourself a chance to thrive, you will definitely see something good in that relationship. You benefit more. Wow, I didn't even know that time had gone so far. Wow, this has
Mhm.
been very, very interesting. I don't know about you. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. I hope our viewers enjoyed the conversation. I feel like we should keep going. Yes, I feel like we should keep going. But before we go ahead briefly, I wanted to quickly tell our viewers that this is Holy Ghost Christian Center Healthy Relationship Series. Thanks to our Pastor Joseph C. Drew that give us this platform to talk about the issues that are affecting us in our marriages, in friendship, in dating, which I feel like a lot of us are struggling with. And I just appreciate this platform for giving us the opportunity to address these issues. You can join our services online. If you're not in New Jersey, we do our services every Sunday from 9 a.m. Our second service is by 11, right? I'm right.
You're right. You're right.
Yes, so follow us on Instagram. Facebook is at HCCNJ. Please follow us, follow our page. We would like to connect with you because we love you, we value you. So basically, before we call it a wrap here, Pastor, what would you say about forgiveness? I feel like, since we're talking about maintaining relationship, when we come together, we are different. There's bound to be problems, issues. What if there's a case of, let me go there, infidelity,
Mm.
and then you're married? How do you
Mm.
manage that? How do we forgive and move past,
Mm.
that hurt and say, okay, I
Mm.
forgive you, I let it go.
Mm. But yeah, but before we will go, I want to also remind people that April 5th and 6th, we're going to be having a deep talk about relationship. So,
Yes.
how do I forgive my partner that I'm involved in infidelity? Certainly, it is more difficult to forgive someone for years of infidelity than for a minor mistakes that we make. I will say the first thing, if you're a Christian, you need Holy Spirit to help you. You need Holy Spirit to help you. Be open, be receptive to forgiveness. You have to be open first. First, forgive yourself, and ready to forgive the other. Be open to it. Make a conscious decision to forgive. You have to be conscious. It's not easy. That somebody you love just went there and do another thing. Try to let Holy Spirit help you distract yourself from flashback of the betrayal thought, because the thought will keep on coming. It's very tough. You need God to help you to distract your thoughts when the flashback, when the negative thought comes back. And again, powerful thing: refrain from throwing a mistake back in a remorseful partner's face.
Hmm.
You have to stop it if you want to really let it go. And using it as ammunition in an argument, don't use it. Accept that you might never know the reason for the hurtful behavior. You might not know. I can tell they can say different type of things, but you won't know the reason why. And also because a lot of things can cause that. We talk about attitude because some of us, our attitude can cause our partner to shit on us. It can happen if you don't have God in you. Refrain from seeking revenge or retribution. Refrain from it. If you really want to really let it go from your heart, try to get even when we only extend the pain that you are going through. Remember that forgiveness does not mean that you condone the hurtful behavior, but you forgive the person for yourself so that you can be free to live. Be patient with yourself. And the major part of it is the person that did it. If the person is sincere, he has to start to rebuild trust by asking for forgiveness from God and from the person he has offended. Give yourself and your partner time when walking through the process. Don't just, as you, I've begged you, why can't you let it go? No, give the person a time.
Hmm.
show true contrition and remorse for the pain you've caused that person. Really show it.
Hmm.
Don't just say that I beg you. People have begged you. Why didn't you let it go? It's not your body. You just mess up trust the person had in you. Make a commitment to not hurt your partner again by
Hmm.
repeating the hurtful behavior. And I will say, accept. I always say this to people when people come and we're dealing with issue like this. Accept the consequence of the action that created the hurt. You have to accept it. Don't just say, I beg you. What do you want to do? That means your heart have not yet really. That means you are wicked. You are wicked. So I said this to men when they are doing this. Women also involved in infidelity. Now the women is even higher than men. That's what we find out now. So okay, I was yeah, it's they're higher now. They're doing it. So they don't care anymore. So I will say be open to make amend. Make amend because you have to build the trust you've broken. Make
Yes.
a felt and verbal apology. Say it several times. I'm sorry. This should include a plan of action to make things right. Have a
I
plan.
love
Be
that.
patient. Yeah, be patient with your partner. Don't just dismiss your partner's feelings of betrayal by telling them to get over it. What do you get over? You don't get over some things, and you're not just hurting your partner. You're hurting your family. If you have children, they will know about it. If you're not careful, so I will say the other partner should forgive, should pray, should ask God to help her or him to distract his attention from because the flashback will come and see. So that's what I will say. But we need God and with
Yes.
prayer. And if you need to go to counseling,
Yeah, I was
find
about to
counseling.
ask about
Just
counseling.
go to yeah, but make sure you go to God's fearing counseling. There are many times we go to counseling that I've never married before
Mm,
because he will just tell you what he has read in the book. Counseling that doesn't know God. Some of them
mm,
doesn't know. I know some of them are listening to me now. Maybe they are getting angry. That's fine. So you see, you need God. It's marriage or relationships is more than just we see. It's a spiritual things.
mm.
It involves spiritual mind. Your soul. How do you just love somebody suddenly that you don't know before? And your spirit just hooks to that person. I don't know if you think that way. You just forget. Women are so good at that. They will just forget everybody and they just hook to one man. They can die because I just want to suddenly. So it's more than just a word. It's a spirit. So you need God to help you to go beyond because some people never get balance, never be the same again after that has happened. Just change them totally. But I would say you need God. Everyone makes mistakes and everyone needs to forgive and be forgiven, please. Yeah. Mm,
Thank you so much, Pastor.
mm,
I have another
mhm,
question to ask, but I don't know if Tola or Dami wanted to add something on the forgiveness part. When it comes to dating, are there things that you can forgive when you're just dating, you're not in marriage, right? And things that okay, no,
mm,
after this is over, like you break it.
mm,
I think there are things that no, I know there are things that you can forgive. I mean, it's not the end of the world. People, like Pastor said, people make mistakes, but yeah, you can forgive and forget. But that doesn't mean if it reoccurs the second time, maybe you address it. Then if it reoccurs the third time, that one's between you and God. But there are things definitely you can forgive. Now
Do
that
you
one,
hear where it says 70 times, 70 times?
Oh, so it's 70 times 70. Yeah.
That's
yeah,
what
Preach,
there are
Jesus
things
said.
you
Pastor,
can
preach.
forgive. That's my that's
There
my
shouldn't be anything. There shouldn't be anything you can forgive. But if whatever the person is doing will take your life, then I think you should run. If whatever is doing to you will kill you, we take because the covenant of life is more than any other thing. It's when you are living that you can achieve purpose. Everything anybody wants to say to you when you are dead is nothing. So when you are somebody is abusing you and it's taking your life out of you, you should run. You don't need to die in that marriage because somebody abusing you, diminishing your destiny, emotional torture, and is enjoying it. Demonic people doesn't. There are people that are walking around. They are demonic in that sense. Like what Sister Abigail said. Some people are so bad that it's money they look into. Why even why they are abusing them? I've seen men that abuse their wife. After doing that, they will beg them. They will buy them car,
They'll
send
buy
them
them
money.
houses. Yes.
They buy them out, and the following money they will deal with them emotionally. They will diminish their life in front of people, and you think that is okay. You're killing yourself. You are here for a purpose. Don't let anybody take your purpose away from you.
Mhm.
Some people have ego, and culture kills people. And that's why it's very important when you're dating people and you want to see their background, where they are coming from.
Yeah.
They have issue from they have a lot of load they've not yet resolved. That's why I say discover yourself first and shed off some load that you are bringing from your background, from your failed relationship, your failed family pattern. Pull it down. You want to build your home now. To start afresh. And this affect many of us that have divorced sometime. We hold on to the baggage
Yeah.
and to stop ruin your life. Please, this is very important. Take take assessment, assess your life before getting into unnecessary relationship. You must not die in it. It's not a dying affair. Don't die, don't die. It's when you're alive you can plan, you can impart your word, you can impart other people. There are people looking up to you for gracious things. Don't let somebody kill you, and after killing you people will cry and they go ahead and marry the next person, and you've
Mm.
gone. Please don't kill yourself.
Yes.
Abuse is serious. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
true, so true. Thank
Mm.
you, Pastor, for saying that. I just wanted to add to that when you forgive and you let go, it also benefits you. Okay,
Mhm.
it
Mhm.
makes you are healthy inside out. You can move on. Like for someone who is divorced, for example, you're hurting, or maybe someone broke your heart, you're in a relationship, you need to go through the healing process. You need to ask yourself, okay, what did I do wrong? What was my mistakes? What was the other person's mistakes? What have I learned from that? And then you take that lesson and take it to the next relationship. Because if you don't go through that if you don't have those conversations with yourself, you find out that in your next relationship, you're
It's a cycle.
throwing blame.
Rinse and repeat.
Yes, it's going to be like a cycle repeating itself again. You'll be comparing this person to the last person, and then it's not going to be an issue. So you need to go through a healing process if
Mhm.
you're divorced, if you've gone through heartbreak, so that you can be a whole person again, for you to be able to connect with somebody else, which is such a powerful point to make. Quickly, there's just this question about appreciation and showing gratitude, because I know that sometimes in relationship, in marriage, we tend to take our spouse for granted. Oh, I've seen it. Okay, like you don't even notice the sacrifices, the little things that they do out of their way. You feel like, okay, it's normal. Let's just move on. So how can one foster a sense of appreciation and gratitude for each other in this world where people are feeling entitled? You feel like that is your expectation, you're supposed to do it. So because I feel like appreciation also helps. We serve a God that once you worship, you give him thanks for what he has done, he will do more for you. So how can we foster gratitude and appreciation?
Um,
As-
for me, I think whatever anything you don't appreciate, we depreciate, and
yes.
nobody love depreciating element or substance.
Mm.
So the first thing, start practicing it. If you didn't learn it from when you are growing, just say thank you for little thing. Thank you for being there for me. Thank you for your word. Thank you for sitting with me. Thank you for loving me. Start from there. There are some people you can sit with. There's some people you can talk with. But me, the fact that the person can even take my heresies and my thank them. I thank you. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank your wife. Thank your children. Thank them for little food they prepare. It might not look what you, but say, thank you for this food. And
Yeah.
appreciate them. Buy them something. I always say this. Not every time you condemn things, we made that mistakes long time ago that we just want to talk about things, condemn things, not appreciating people. I think we should start working on it. Tell people how you feel. Don't let them die before you start telling them, and he's the wonderful person. I tell somebody, don't wait till I die, start carrying, having six people to be carrying my cups. Pastor is a nice person. Tell me now. Tell me now. Don't wait. Don't
Thank you.
wait till something happens. Let
Yes, that's so true. I think Dami wanted to say something. Add to that.
Thank you. I can
go
give you
ahead,
my
sir. Go ahead,
now.
man.
So I have a follow-up question for you, Pastor. Like sometimes too, appreciation is great, but what happens when?
Ah,
Go ahead. Oh,
No,
I said
Dami, go ahead.
okay. I said appreciation is great, but what happens
we
when?
can. We,
Go ahead. I pass. Pastor wants to say something.
Pastor, can you hear us?
your phone is breaking. Your phone is breaking. Damn it, we can hear you.
Oh,
Ooh.
Dami, he says your phone is breaking a bit.
Okay. Let
Oh
me.
yeah, go ahead now.
Okay.
Okay, continue.
So sometimes people really have the intention to appreciate. But what happens when the efforts that you think that you're going out of your way, the other person is not acknowledging it? It's not because they don't appreciate you, but that particular effort that you're doing, you feel like the other person is not acknowledging the effort. Is it okay to mention it to them so that they could have a sense of the sacrifice you're doing, or just don't mention it at all? What
So
do you think of
my will be pattern the what you want him to do first. You just when the person do anything, just say thank you so much. Intentionally mention what he did. So
model it?
say it, model it, say it. Thank you so much. This is what you did, and to concern is with time, you now find that you love this. If you can be pointing out to what he has done or she has done, unknowingly to you, she will dance into it. Instead of you condemning or criticizing that you didn't even thank me for the food I cook, you didn't even thank me if the food is sweet or not. So people change intentionally. If you start pointing at what they didn't do, they will just block you off and close down. They won't say anything. They will say, so you are expecting me to thank you every time you do things, but don't say anything. Just thank them for what they have done and
Mm,
mention it. And so just model it and let them say, yeah,
sounds perfect. Thank you.
Thank
yeah.
you so much, Dami. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you, Tola. This has been such an amazing conversation. I really enjoyed
Mm.
this moment. And remember, guys, we continue this series next week, Saturday at
Man,
11 a.m. So remember to lock your calendar, set your alarms, and join us online. Follow us at HCCNJ on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and we stream our services online also. So we'd like to connect with you. We value you. We love you guys so, so much.
amen.
Let's just say bye. Have a lovely day. Enjoy
Have a
yourself.
lovely day. Thank you. God bless you. Amen.
Bye. Thank you so much.